What's a cool fact about the human body that a lot of people don't know? You mostly breathe out of one nostril at a time, and the dominant nostril switches every hour or so. Women are actually programmed to forget the pain of childbirth after a few months or so. If this didn't happen, most women would only end up having one child, which would eventually lower the population. You can see your nose all the time, your brain just chooses to ignore it. The human body contains enough fat to make 7 bars of soap. Immune privilege. Your immune system doesn't know your eyes exist. There's a chance that if you get an eye injury or an infection near your eyes, the immune system will think your eyes are a foreign body and you'll go blind. Flexing any muscle for 30 seconds will get rid of an unwanted boner. The cornea is the only part of the body without blood flow. It gets oxygen directly from the air. Also, in an adult, -25% of your bones are in your feet. Humans are the only animals with a chin. You don't have kneecaps until you are 2 to 6 years old. The egg that you were created from existed before your mother was born. Straight hair comes out of round follicle, and curly hair comes out of an oval-shaped follicle. About 90% of the cells that make up humans are not human. We are mainly bacteria and fungi. A small percentage of people are super sleepers and are fully recharged after 2 to 4 hours of sleep each night. They get to burn the candle at both ends. You're taller in the morning than the rest of the day/night. Scientific name for your thumb is pollex and your big toe is hallux inquat. Not just yours, everybody's. The reason for fevers is to make your body temperature rise to kill whatever virus your body is fighting. When your white blood cells have done their job, you sweat to cool off. Hence your fever breaking. Edited to add, I am not a doctor. At some point you need to take a fever reducing medication. A really high fever is dangerous. You think you see everything in a certain area, but you have quite a few blind spots your brain will just have you not see. Your heart rate increases about a minute before partaking in exercise. It is known as the anticipatory rise and happens involuntarily. Edit, my very first gold, thank you. Your hands and feet alone account for more than half of all the bones in your body, 106 out of 206. Your tongue doesn't fit properly in your mouth and you're basically swallowing it. Most animals have an average of 1 billion heartbeats in a lifetime. Humans are the exception, with an average of 2 billion, with obvious exceptions. Your sense of balance is strongly linked to your eyes, and you may notice it's harder to keep your balance with them closed even if you're standing still. Some people will cough if they put something in one ear. A very small percentage will cough if something is in either ear. It is called Arnold's ear cough reflex. Saliva contains a natural painkiller 9 times more powerful than morphine. That's why people lick or suck their thumb after they heard it. Just an example. We are just advanced apes, but we can understand the universe. That's what makes us special. Stephen Hawking. This quote is perfect. It shows even though that we aren't that different from most animals/mammals on this planet. We have a brain, we can understand other things they can't. We can understand the universe. Edit, that isn't the exact quote, but it's nearly the same. We have an internal regulator that prevents us from using our full strength. Our muscles usually only work at about 60% max of what we are capable of. In extreme life and death situations, these regulators stop and we are able to use our full strength. This is how the parts where people tipped over cars and similar come from. These regulators are because at full strength we heavily damage our bodies. Essentially, you could lift something to the point where it is either lifted or your arm just breaks instead. I believe there has also been someone who ran so hard his leg broke. Some people, like me, sneeze whenever they think about sexual fantasies/acts. Basically, you can have a sexually induced sneeze. There is a muscle, called palmaris longus, in the forearm missing in about 10% of the population. You can easy test if you have it by putting your pinky and thumb together, while holding your palm facing up, and flex the hand upwards. If one tendon is standing out more than the others, that's palmaris longus. You have enough potassium in your body to create a very small bomb. The human head weighs about as much as a bowling ball. Cortisol, the stress hormone, only leaves your body through sweat or tears. Don't lose it and it stays in your body and fat cells instead. Oh, and tears from onions or pepper spray don't remove cortisol. It has to be emotional tears, not tears from irritants. Some Asian people, Southeast like Japanese or Korean, do not emit body odor from their armpits and do not need deodorant. These same people do not have sticky earwax. How can you tell if you're a non-stinky armpit Asian? If you have gooey sticky earwax, keep using deodorant. If your earwax is dry and crumbly, Stop using deodorant for a week and have a trusted friend or partner give you a sniff test after moderate exercise or at the end of the day. You probably are wasting money on deodorant. Archaeologist here. You can give birth after you've died. Occasionally we will come across a really confronting burial where the skeleton of an unborn child is halfway through its mother's pelvis. Generally what happens is the woman has died before giving birth, and after burial a buildup of gases from decomposition forces the baby out. We refer to this as coffin birth in quad. www.sciencealert.com/archaeologists find evidence of a ghastly coffin birth in a medieval grave/amp. If you stare at a clear blue sky, you can see dancing white lights in your vision. Those are actually your white blood vessels, which make up 1% of your blood. The veins in the eye are so small that the blood vessels need to travel single file, and the blue light waves from the sky pass through the white blood vessels, which you can see in your vision. Babies don't have full color vision until 5 months old. The last time a previously undiscovered organ was recognized in the human body was 2018. Your little finger can't feel temperatures that well. Run your fingers under some cold water. Start with your index, middle, ring, then you'll freak out because it's like your little finger is numb by comparison. You just need to focus on the time you want to wake up, and our hypothalamus would wake us up at the exact same time. When we're in an unfamiliar environment we sleep with half our brain at a time, kinda like sharks, and that's why we wake up easier. The reason you see weird colors when you press on your eyes is your eyes don't understand how to take in stimulation that's not visual. So if they receive other info, such as touch, they process it as something they're seeing. You know the smell of rain, or disturbed soil? It's a compound produced by bacteria, called geosmin, and the human nose is extremely sensitive to it. We can smell it at as low a concentration as 5 parts per trillion. The foundation of a lot of jokes is surprise. The reason babies find peekaboo so damn hilarious is because when you cover your face, they actually think you have disappeared. When you then uncover your face and magically pop back into the world, the surprise causes them to lose their shit. Yes, we were all this dumb at some point. The dive reflex. When your face is submerged in chilled water and you hold your breath, it causes your heart rate to lower and blood supply to be increased to vital organs such as the heart and brain. This is useful to help increase the amount of time you can hold your breath, but is also useful in helping to manage PSVT, paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia, which is characterized by occasional bouts of high heart rate. The human body is 80% water, so we are basically just cucumbers with anxiety. The microscopic mites living on your face feeding off the oil glands. You can't see them, but they're there. They are microscopic mites, 8-legged creatures rather like spiders. Almost every human being has them. They spend their entire lives on our faces, where they eat, mate and finally die. There are 2 species of mite that live on your face, Demodex folliculorum and D. brevis. It's cool cause that means I'll always have some friends with me. Natural redheads require increased doses of anesthesia, due to some connection with the mutated melanocortin-1 receptor. I'm a natural redhead myself, and developed a fear of dentists because I'd always feel what they were doing. Eventually I had an issue that couldn't be ignored, and had to find a new dentist. At my first visit he took one look at me, and said, "You're a real redhead, huh?" Yup. And quad. Hygienist, get me 4x the Novocaine. I knew I'd found my man, and he's been treating me ever since. Also shed my fears, since dental work is much less unpleasant when you're actually numb before they start. Source, in case you think I'm full of it. https://www.ncb.nlm.nih.gov/pmc/articles/pmc1362956/. There's a small fishing village/tribe in Asia where the fishermen have evolved to be able to hold their breath for around 10 minutes while hunting underwater. The human body is the most efficient of all land animals at long distance running. Much better than a dolphin. Dolphins BTW are horrible at running. Breast milk will produce antibodies to help baby fight off disease. It's thought that baby's saliva enters the nipple, mom's body tests for any undesirable bacteria, then produces milk to help fight it off. For this reason, it's not unusual for breast milk to look different when baby is sick. Sometimes very dark yellow and thick, almost like colostrum. It also contains different hormones depending on the time of day, and is antibacterial. It is a living liquid.